So today what we are going to discuss is we are going to check the differences between the data extraction compared to normal SAP BW with the traditional databases and BW on HANA 7.5 latest version. It means I am going to show you the differences between data extraction from RSA 7 T code and nowadays on BW 7.5 with latest version ODQ mon. So how deltas will be captured in regular RSA7 to BW, we are fetching into BW, and nowadays how data is going to ODQmon and we are extracting this data by using ODPs. Earlier we used to use bring data via DTP and info package. Okay, so step by step everything we will see now how exactly it is happening. Before we going into this now, let's now we need one example, okay, because we are talking about all the delta mechanism and extraction to BW, so we need one data source to learn this entire concept. Okay, so which data source I am going to use now? Let's take the sales document item data. Okay, so what is sales document item data? If I go to LBWE code under 11 component, we have some data sources. One is sales document header and another one is sales document item data source. Okay, we can use these two data sources now in our scenarios to learn this concept. Okay, so what is this one? 2ls 11 component. This 11 is nothing but component. Okay, LO, this is a LO data source and this is of 11 component, and the information comes from these two data sources is nothing but the sales information. Okay, so in order to bring this information into BW, what exactly we do in general? For example, if it is a fresh system, till now we don't have this flow available in our BW, then what are the steps to bring this 2ls 11 data source into BW? So what we do initially, we will go to RSA5, activate this data source so that it will comes in show in RSA6 transaction code. Okay, RSA5 is a standard content, RSA6 is the activated content. Okay, all the activated data sources can be shown in this transaction code. Okay, we can see in this transaction code. So once data source is available in RSA6, then we can do a test run from RSA3 transaction code. Okay, for example, if I go to RSA3 transaction code now, if I am giving 2ls 11, okay, via ITM, you see it is a sales. What is this data source name here? VA ITM is a sales document item data. If I do some extraction on top of this data source, I'm getting 0 records. Okay, maybe some I didn't filter tables, maybe that's why I'm not getting any data here. But at least when you go to this RSA3, when you are giving some data source, when you press enter, you are seeing some fields populating below, which means this data source currently is in active state, and you can replicate this data source to BW to create your data flow. Okay, now in BW system, so this is my BW on HANA system, I created one ADSO of type field based, okay, which is exactly similar to my VITM data source, and I created a transformation between my 2ls11 VITM data source to my DSO. Everything is one-to-one mapping, so nothing extra here, and I created a DTP. Now coming to the DTP concept. Okay, now this DTP, whatever we are seeing here, it's not a DTP. Okay, one second. Just one ODP. You see, in this DTP, if you see, it is the adapter what I'm using is operational data provisioning. Okay, we will come back to this topic. So before that, let's go one step back. Okay, I forgot to mention one more point. In our BW system, okay, let's take this screen as my BW screen. Okay, in BW screen in RS7 transaction code, if I go to source systems, okay, source systems, it is important to understand about this source system tab. in this source system tab, I can find all my connections to, say this is my BW. If I want to know the connections, source system means from where I can fetch data into my BW box. All my source system connections I can see in this screen under source systems screen. Okay, and earlier in our old versions of SAP BW, we don't have these ODP folders here. Whatever you are seeing, ODP BW, SAP extractors, SLT, all these ODP folders are not available in our old SAP BW 7.3 systems, 7.5 earlier systems. Okay, but so at that time, how I'm going to fetch my data from ECC to BW? From this folder, under this SAP folder, we use it to create some connections, and here I have SAP ECC connection, and using that connection I use it to, how I have connection here. In the same way, there will be one connection under SAP folder, and this folder, from this folder, I can see my data sources, and from there, I can fetch data from ECC to BW. Okay, so this SAP folder is nothing but, for example, if I have one 2LIS data source under this SAP folder and I am trying to fetch data into my BW, then how the flow will be. Okay, so let me go to one PowerPoint to explain this. So what I'm trying to explain now is an old concept, okay, not with the ODPs. So if I am trying to extract my data from a connection which is under this SAP connection, then from ECC to BW, then my data flow will be in the ECC system. I have one data source. Okay, this is ECC data source. Okay. Now on top of it, I have this is BW box. So I am taking one layer in between. So the below one is ECC system. The top one is a BW system. On ECC, I have one data source. For example, let's take this is our ECC, whatever example we are currently taking, 2LS underscore 11 underscore VA ITM is my data source. Okay, and now if I want to fetch data from this data source into BW, what I do, I will replicate this data source into my BW. So here it is like 2LS11 underscore VITM. So it is also a data source in our BW system. And after this, what I use it to do, I use it to create one info package. Info package. What exactly info package will do? Info package will extract data from my, info package is binded to my, data source. So I can say, I can write in this way. Okay, info package is binded to my data source. I can change this box color a little bit. So info package. So what exactly info package will do? When I execute info package, it will extract data from ECC and stores the data in a PSA table. Okay, it is a table kind. PSA is a table kind of structure, and it stores the information in my PSA table. This is the starting stage where exactly my data stores in the initial in my BW. On top of it, I will create one DSO. Okay, and using DTP. So for example, if I consider this is my DSO, and in the DSO, I will, on top of DSO, I will create one DTP. Okay, and this DTP is extracting data from my info package into my DSO tables. Okay, nothing but DSO or DSO tables, I can say whatever it may be, but this DTP is fetching data from the PSA table into the DSO. So this is the normal flow in our BW, BW with the ECC. Okay, without HANA, let's say it is without HANA. Okay, so let's stop this topic here. So this is a old one. Now let's compare with the new one. What is exactly in our, for now this is let's take this one as a SAP BW without HANA. BW, this is on HANA. When coming to this HANA database, what exactly? So when coming to this one, so what exactly happened? Nothing changed. ECC is still same. Okay, so there also I have bit SEC data source. Here also I have the same source system, same data source. 1 minute. Okay, same data source. And then what happened when coming to BW on HANA? There is no info package concept here. Okay, directly what happened? This DSO is replaced with ADSO, advanced ADSO, and this DTP was replaced with ODP, operational data provisioning tool, ODP. Okay, now what is eliminated here? The PSA layer got eliminated here. Okay, info package fetches data from source system to BW. Now ODP is extracting data from data source to directly into the ADSO tables. Okay, no PSA concept here. No PSA concept here. Now one extra point on ECC side, when I say ECC data source, how is in BW data source means PSA table here. In the same way in ECC data source, on top of the data source we have one more layer, is that is nothing but RSA7 for delta. This is for only delta. If any delta records to be fetched from my 2LS11 data source, what happens? The data will come and sits under RSA7 transaction, and from RSA7 the delta data will be loaded to my info package by using delta info package, and from here my DTP will fetch data and stores under my DSO. Okay, but in case of BW on HANA with ODP kind of connection, what happens is this RSA7 was replaced with ODQ, with ODQ1. ODQ. I will show you all this in system also in few minutes. Okay, so whatever delta transactions coming are part of this sales will come and sit in my ODQ1, and this ODP is directly extracting data from my ODQ1. Okay, there is no PSA involved here. That is the difference between BW on HANA to the BW with the traditional databases or older versions of SAP BW. Okay, so RSA7 was replaced with ODQ1 and DTP was replaced with ODP, operational data provisioning. What is the benefit of ODP? When I am creating ODP also, when I am creating DTP, it's a DTP, nothing. DTP, when I am on BW 7.5 on HANA only, when I am creating a DTP for DSO, still I call it as a DTP only. Okay, but when this DTP is created on top of a data source, okay, when this DTP is fetching data from a data source, in that point of time this ODP concept comes into picture. That's why you see here the adapter what we are using is a extraction from SAP system by operational data provisioning. Okay, and you see directly from source system, PSA not used. Whenever you are using PSA, then this ODP will be gone and it is just like a normal DTP. Okay, and if you see if there is a transformation between 1 second. If for example, if I see the DTP between for this DSO, which is sources DSO, it is just like our DTP only. There is no ODP concept here. And if you see here, anywhere do we see ODP kind of wording here? I think so. Okay, display data transfer process, everything is same, just like our normal DTP. ODP concept comes into picture only when you are extracting from a data source into your BW object, and when it is a BW to BW object, then it is simple DTP. It is common between older versions to the latest versions. I hope it is clear. I am not repeating further. Okay, now going back to the system and seeing how exactly what is the difference between RSA7 and I will try to show RSA7, but first we will work on ODQ1 to finish this topic. Okay, now what is this delta data? First of all, you must understand, just a second. So, yeah, what I mean, okay. So when I'm talking about delta information, okay, delta information. So what I need to say, ODQ mon, right? We should know the process. What process? How deltas will be captured. Okay, that point we will see first. Okay, what is the, say, whenever a sales transaction, okay, whenever a sales transaction happen in ECC system, what will happen? Deltas will be how to say this one? Okay, just to cover a little bit. In ECC, we have a transaction called LBWQ. Okay, in ECC, we have a transaction called LBWQ. So what is this LBWQ? Let's go and see. Okay, /4 LBWQ. See, nothing was selected here. No queues are available. It's a QRFC monitor outbounded queue. Okay, and in coming to this, LBWE decode, whichever data sources we activated here, for those data sources, what will happen? The queues will be collected. If a data source is in active version of any component, for example, if I go to 3 here, nothing is inactive. So if some inventory postings happen also, no, I don't capture any delta for those. But for my sales, there is an active, data source are there. So now what I'm going to show practically, I'm going to a transaction called VA02. Okay, VA02 is a change sales document. We are not supposed to do it in the project systems. As it was a demo server, I'm doing some changes. Okay, I'm going to VA02, which is nothing but I can see an already created sales order here. Okay, there is a sales order created where document number is 38. Here there is an order quantity of 110. Okay, now I'm changing this order quantity from 110 to 150. Okay, and then clicking on save button. So what happened here? There is a change happened to my sales document. So what is this queues? These queues will be capture all the changes happen in our sales flow. Now if I go and refresh here, see there is a queue newly created. Okay, and this queue was created for which component? You see at the end it is 11 component, which is nothing but our 12S11 component, which is our sales flow. Since there is a change happened to my sales order, automatically the change was captured and I can see that whenever a new transaction sales document created, same thing happen. That change also will be, okay, let's do it. What we can do, by having 38, I can create a new document. I think let's me I'm necessarily trying it. So slash and I'm not too confident here, but I will try simply VA01 by create with reference 38 create with reference. Okay. Order OR sorry. Or create with reference, and here I am going here giving order number. So what will happen is this is the order number. Where I need to give order number. Yes, that's it. I created this sales document, and here I am giving 200 instead of 120. I am giving 20, and then clicking on save button. Save. That's it. A new order was created. You see, standard order 60 was created. So whatever order I created now, if I want to see, I can go to VA02 or 03. I can give 60 here, search it. Now I can see this is a new order with 20, a new order created. So this change also is now captured in my, currently entries it is showing 1. If I refresh here, now you see I can see 2 entries here. So means 2 changes got captured under this one. So when data is here, still it won't come to BW. In order to bring this data into BW, I need to move this information from LBWQ into delta Q. Okay. So what is delta Q? In old systems, this delta Q is named as RSA7, and in later versions with ODP extraction, it is nothing but ODQ mon. Okay, ODQ mon. So now we are looking into ODQ side, right? So let's go to here. So how I can bring the data from LBWQ into this my delta queues. Okay, to bring this information from LBWQ into my delta queue, generally what happen in real-time systems, we need to schedule a job which keep on, after every certain interval like 15 minutes or 30 minutes, it will keep on move this queue for information to this one. So how to schedule that job? By going to, here under 11 component job control, we need to create a job which to, schedule a job with which run multiple times. If you want to run one time singly, then how you can do it? Go to SC38. By executing this RMBW V3, 11 is the component. If you want to execute for 12, then give 12, 03, 02, whatever the component, you can give that component name here. Click on execute. Currently in my LBW queue, I can see there is a queue for 11 and there are 2 entries. Okay. Now if I click on execute and refresh here LBW queue, it's gone. What happened? The data which is in my LBW queue was moved to my delta queue. Okay, which is my ODQ mon. So what is ODQ mon? Slash n rs ODQ mon. ODQ mon means nothing but this one, sales document item data. So I have to show it, from starting onwards, this one, then you will understand it better. Just a second. Sales document. Okay, fine. So, okay. 1 minute. ODQ mon. In the ODQ mon, currently I can see there is a sales document header item, sales document item data. These 2 entries are already available here. Okay. So, but how these entries came into my ODQ mon is the first point. Okay. Let's give all here and then I can see like this. How exactly these entries are coming here? Okay. That is the question. So when exactly this entries comes here means whenever you create a, go to our HANA Studio, in our BW system, I created a DTP, okay, ODP, DTP on this data source, on this DSO. So I have a ADSO in my BW system and I created one transformation and I created DTP, which is extracting data from here to there. 1 second. 11. So if you see here, it is a delta. So in info package, how we have full and delta info package, in the same way here also I created one delta ODP, so that now what happens, this particular ODP is now going to fetch my delta information from ODQ mon to here. Okay, na? And what is this DTP technical name here? The DTP technical name is OWGC. Okay, and if I go to here sales document item data, is it my header data or item data? It's a VITM item data. Okay, if I go to sales document item data, here I can see my DTP technical name, OWGC. So this is nothing but in my BW system, whatever technical name of my DTP is there, the same I am seeing here. Double click on it, and why you don't see anything here? Bye. Okay, older subscriptions are not coming. I don't know why, but it's okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to execute here and click on execute button. Yes. You see there I got 5 records here. Okay. Click on execute and now go to, manage of this one. Go to, 3 records came here. Go to menu, utilities, new data, execute. You see, I have a record with 60, which is the new record. And this particular record is the new sales order which I created in ECC system. Okay. And I can see the quantity also here with the 20 quantity. Cross, right? You see, quantity 20. Okay, which is nothing but the quantity which order quantity 20. Okay, and you see earlier I changed that quantity from to 150, right, from 110 or 100 to, so that change also came here. I did this change to a 38 document number, right? So I can see that delta record also into my here. So now if I try to execute the same DTP one more time, since there are no new records happened, then what will happen here? Nothing will come. Just if I trigger my DTP, okay, no, let me go to here ODQmon and refresh. So if you see, let me go to one step back, our subscription. So let me go to freshly here, ODQmon. Okay, I'm going to sales document item data. Here, this is my delta DTP. If I go here, just now I executed one DTP, right? So this was this DTP number. Okay, so in BW system, whatever DTP I executed, the same DTP technical information I can see here. Let me go to one step. If I click here, process monitor, earlier, when we execute any info package, what we see, we will see one job is created in ECC system for the data extraction. In the same way, now I can see this particular, DTPR with this timestamp, whatever timestamp is there, the same I can see here, and it will tell us how many records it fetched also. If you see, there are 3 records plus 3 plus 2, 5 records it fetched. Okay, from the ODQ data. So this is how the delta records are got captured in the ODQmon.